you filmed all this footage of people popping perks and showing off their machetes and all this kind of shit, right? When did that become a thing? And did you put some of that out while you were still locked up?
Well, what happened is K-Frog TV is something that I said in my neighborhood. Like, K-Frog TV started on the streets, like before I even went to prison. That's my name. So we'd put stupid shit up and K-Frog TV, you know, stuff like that. So when I went to prison, I ain't want no one to forget about me, you know, so I'm gonna give them a show while I'm here. So I kept recording shit while in prison, just prison stuff to show like my life's a movie. It just keeps going.
How long did it take for you to get a phone in there?
It was quick. Like, my first one was like 60 days at my first camp, and then I landed in the box.
And you get it from a CO or something?
There's all types of different ways, you know what I'm saying? It all depends.
And did you,
Like, I won't say that.
I know you didn't want to like really fully air that out.
I'm not, definitely not. Yeah.
But a phone on the streets is like fucking, you know, $500 or $1,000. How much did it cost for you to get it in there?
I mean, well, it depends. Each camp's different, but the phones that we were getting were nothing but like a $15 track phone from like 7-Eleven and shit. But them shits were going for like $600.
$600 for the track phone.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying?
But you were filming like good iPhone footage, right?
Yeah, everything I had was a surfboard where you can, I had where you can slide it, and pictures, cameras and shit. Not one where you can't, you know, it was touchscreen. So,
right.
You know, and I just wanted to give everybody a show on the streets to show them how K-Frog's still living. So I just kept the footage.
But when it was small, like, it didn't attract any attention at first because not that many people were seeing it?
Well, basically, every single time that I went to confinement over a cell phone, I never got caught with one on me. They knew I had them, though. Not one time did I get caught with a phone physically throughout my whole prison bit. But I've been to the box like numerous times over cell phones.
But so you just kept uploading shit and then you were good at...
Nah, I hid the footage, like sent it somewhere, sent it, stacked up on it. You know, just like that. Because I wasn't planning on going viral on YouTube or nothing like that with it. You know, I just was literally just was like, why ain't nobody doing this? This is a memory of your time, you know? Like, why the fuck? And no one had the nuts to do it.
And you hadn't even thought about the fact that they were going to see this eventually at first?
Nah. And then I started getting more sloppy with it. And then the next thing you know, more people started saying K-Frog TV all on the institution. And anytime something would happen, someone would say it. That means pull the phone out. Let's get it on video and stuff like that.
And there's just such a reason for everybody to snitch in prison too. Like, you doing that, it makes it so easy for somebody to tell on you, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's why
it feels too risky.
Yeah, it is at the same time. But then when they know there's consequences and repercussions that come behind you being someone that tells, you being a snitch or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Down in Florida, you got people that tell and shit like that in prison, but they're gonna try to low key like drop a kite on you. Like, you know, they're not gonna just straight up they're gonna try to get away with it because if word gets around and them COs are so crooked, they're gonna tell you, oh yeah, you know, such and such is the one that got such and such in the box for his phone. Y'all eat him, get him off the pound.
Right.
Like, so it's just a dirty game. So at the same time, it's like your own sloppiness is 9 times out of 10 what gonna get you caught in prison doing stupid shit.
Right. So then how did you end up going on the news to talk about that footage? That was after you got released?
Yeah, and that shit scared me off YouTube for a whole year.
Really? So what, like shit that you had uploaded a long time ago all of a sudden started getting a bunch of attention?
Nah, see, what it was is I went to confinement for the footage. I was in prison. I went to confinement for K-Frog TV. Did like 270-something days in the box and got transferred to another institution. By the time I got out of the box, I had less than 100 days left. That was the closest I've ever been to going home, so I decided I'm gonna fall back. No more phones, no more knives. And I'm at this new camp, I'm gonna just go home, you know? And then when I got out, I figured I'd put it on YouTube, K-Frog TV Volume 1, you know? And then I did the same thing with K-Frog TV Volume 2. I put them both on YouTube, and this shit hit the algorithm. And that shit, I was looking at it, and like in an hour, it was at like 35,000. And I'd refresh, it'd jump up 3 more thousand. So I'd put it on private. So then I'd take it off private. I did it like 8, 10 times. You know what I'm saying? And then next thing you know, that when you get released from prison in Florida, you have to give them an address. You know what I'm saying? You got to give them an address or they're going to put you like a halfway house if you don't give them an address to be released at. So the address that I had, my people's house at the time that I put for me to have a release address so I didn't have to go to a halfway house, the news surrounded their crib. Like the very next day, like it was
Holy
literally
shit.
from it being posted, it was only up for like 10 hours, you know what I'm saying? And then they were like, oh, we're not leaving till K-Frog come out. So I went over there and shit, and I was like, damn. And the dude just, he just asked me questions and shit. Was like, oh, are you worried about going to jail? And I'm like, no, I mean, I already did the time for the same footage.
Right.
I already did time in confinement for it. So now I'm out on the streets, and then what are you gonna lock me up? Why they could have charged me with it when I was in prison?
So there's no chance that they could have arrested you and charged you with something that happened.
I'm pretty sure there's a chance, but they
Right.
got like a statute of limitations or whatever. You got a certain timing.
Right.
When anybody gets caught with a cell phone in prison, they got a certain time to charge you or not.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And that shit it spooked me off the internet. Like once that happened, I was like, oh hell no. Like I wasn't even thinking of doing YouTube or nothing like that. I just was posting it for myself.
Right.
And then a year later, I went on YouTube. People would come up to me and shit everywhere I go and stuff. Oh, you're that dude that was on the news. And I didn't like that.
Because it was super viral at the time.
Yeah, and I was fresh out of prison. Like, the last thing I wanted was attention. You know what I'm saying?
Especially the Florida cops, it just feels
Out
like
eating dinner and shit. Some girl wants to take a picture with me and stuff. I'm like, what? the fuck?
the Florida cops. I just feel like are super likely to have a vengeful streak and to want to get their revenge on you.
Nah, you see, and they feel like if you made them look some type of way or
Exactly.
anything, they're going to try to take advantage of it.
I saw Milk made a video about it, and he said that basically calling you a snitch because you filmed that stuff and put it out. How you feel about that?
Yeah, that shit sounds good. I'll beat the dog shit out of Milk, man. For real.
You
that
just
boy-
snitching? Like you disagree with that?
Hell yeah, I disagree with that. 110%. Everyone that was in the videos with me was with the shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a couple people got put in confinement, for the videos. The people that was in the videos with me and shit, they got put in confinement, but they all knew what they signed up for when they were with it. You know what I'm saying? They all knew if we got caught, what was gonna happen.
And to me, the thing is that nobody thinks that there should be knives in prison, right? Like, doesn't
Yeah.
even the worst prisoners all kind of agree that it would be better if you got to go through prison without having a chance of getting stabbed, right?
Exactly, yep.
So, I mean, if anything, you put in that footage out is kind of like likely to maybe make the situation different. I don't know if the cops are even giving a fuck enough to be like, oh,
Yeah.
we're going to use this as an excuse to, start cracking down on
Nah,
knives in
like
prison.
at the end of the day, they already know all that shit. The officers, they know what's in their prisons. They've been doing that shit for years before I was even thought of, years before anybody was even thought of. You know what I'm saying? They heard it all, seen it all. So it's just me. What it was is, when you see documentaries and stuff like that on prisons, you never see them inside of Florida prison. You always see the outskirts of the institution.
Really?
So I was the first one in Florida that ever recorded inside of a prison. That's why, in Florida, that's why I went viral. You see?
It would have been better if you had just saved the footage till after you got out, right?
I was out. I was out when I dropped the shit
Oh,
on
but I
YouTube.
thought you said that you dropped it and then did extra time in the hole while you were in there.
No, yeah, because they knocked me off for the footage, but
Oh.
I never, not from YouTube. People were telling I had a TV show on the compound.
Oh.
You see, but they never found the actual footage.
Oh, okay.
You see
They
what I'm
just
saying?
they knew about it.
Yeah, they knew about it. Like my DRs, which is your disciplinary reports where they write you up, said K-Frog. He has social media's name this. Like
Right.
they knew my nickname. It was all in my DR, my write-ups.
Right.
So I got put in there for footage.
Okay, guys, we want to thank you so much for getting us to 100,000 subscribers right here on the Clips channel. If you want to support, please click that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 200K. Thank you so much.